Yes, so for the first time, a poll by Gallup found that Democrats are likelier to sympathize with Palestinians rather than with Israelis. And joining us now on the matter and its consequences is founder and president of the Jerusalem Washington Center, Gideon Israel. So, Gideon, how does this shift in Democratic sympathies towards the Palestinians compare to past Gallup polls on the topic?
Well, we've been seeing a downward trend in Democratic support for Israel over the past, let's say, 7 years or so. But what's really what's really changed has been an upward shift in support for the Palestinians over the past year or so, and a downward shift in those who have no opinion. So that's really the main shift that's happened in the past year or so. But I don't think we really need a poll to tell us that there's a downward trend in support amongst the Democratic Party for Israel. I think we're seeing it in a lot of places. When the Iran deal was voted on, there was only 4 Democrats in the Senate who were willing to vote against the Iran deal. 10 years ago or 12 years ago, Chuck Schumer, the majority leader of the Democrats in the Senate, wouldn't even consider speaking at a J Street conference. Today, recently, or in the past year or two, he's been one of their main speakers. And in general, we saw with a vote on the Iron Dome, because of certain Democratic Party opposition amongst members of the House, we saw that it had to be postponed to a later vote. So there's signs. There's been many signs which have shown us that Democratic Party support for Israel is trending downward.
Well, Gideon, but it's interesting to question. I mean, we understand the signs, but there's a lot of talk in recent years that Democrats specifically are moving away from Israel. What are some of the potential reasons for this shift?
Well, the main shift we're seeing is that liberal Democrats are supporting the Palestinians more than Israel. I think in the Gallup poll, in general, among millennials, there's a -2 net support for Israel. So in general, on both sides of the aisle, both Republicans and Democrats, amongst millennials, there's less support for Israel. But amongst liberal Democrats who are millennials, that's where we're seeing the sharp drop in support for Israel. Now, there's many reasons. One is that people who are growing up, their formative years are in the past 2 decades. They're growing up in a time when Israel is strong versus the Palestinians. It's not as it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago when Israel was the underdog. So there's less sympathy there. People see Israel as the strong party, and therefore there should be more compromise towards the Palestinians. Those who put equality as their highest value see inequality amongst the Israelis and the Palestinians. And I think that in general, we know that the campus is not a favorable place for Israel or for pro-Israel support. So I think that the more and more people who are in campus in the past 2 decades going through the colleges, and with the increase in pro-Palestinian activity, I think there's a lot of they're being influenced by that, and that's contributing to the downward shift in support.
We're definitely following what's happening on the campuses in the U.S. Now, the perception of the Democratic Party among Jewish voters is well known. The numbers are well known there. What, in your opinion, should be done to address this poll's results?
That's the most important thing. And it really, while this poll might be an official wake-up call, this definitely should have been done already years ago, is that we need whether it be from the Israeli embassy in Washington or for the consul generals across the United States and their staff, they should be out of their office every day. They should be going from campus to campus. They should be going from congressional district to congressional district, to speak about Israel, because Israel, there's a strong case, there's a strong conservative case, a strong moderate case, and a strong progressive case to support Israel. There are some of the most progressive Democrats in the House of Representatives. For example, Richie Torres is a strong Israel supporter. So there's nothing about being a progressive which means you can't be a strong supporter for Israel. And by the way, he said that a lot. So our Israel's representatives in the United States need to be making a much more concerted effort every day, really, literally every single day. They should be in another place talking about why it's good for America to support Israel. What are the advantages that the U.S.-Israel relationship brings to America? And that's what needs to be done, because a lot support for Israel or support for the Palestinians, it's not fixed. People, Americans are usually very fair people. There are obviously some people who can't be convinced, but Americans are usually very fair people. And when they hear a good case made for a certain issue, they're willing to be convinced. So we need to make sure that our Israeli representatives, like I said, are going from place to place and talking about Israel. But also, there's specific constituencies within the Democratic Party that they should also be addressing specifically, whether it be women, whether it be Hispanics, whether it be African Americans. So there's really a lot of work to be done. There's always a certain part of the Democratic, the base of the Democratic Party, which is not favorable to Israel. But that doesn't mean that the majority of the party needs to be unfavorable towards Israel.
Gideon, you definitely convinced us. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.